we haven't seen and from the Burma film industry, because it's certainly one of the big budget films that is not about the monk, and then it's about the people living in Burma. Could you tell us a little bit about the origin of the film, of this idea, and how is it like to make something like this in Burma?
Okay, so I have to start about a little bit about myself because it's a little bit strange how I got into filmmaking, because when I was young, I usually like to draw a little bit of stupid comic, and then when I joined the university, I was like very laid back and don't want to go to very far place, so I attended the foreign language university, and my major was there. My major there was Japanese. But then again, I started learning animation on my own. But then again, 2007, we had a protest led by the monks at that time, and I was in the protest. But the protest failed within a week, and I was like depressed and don't want to work in Myanmar anymore at that time. So I left Myanmar for Singapore. So I worked in Singapore for 4 years, but then I became very bored with my jobs, and then I consider myself what I want to be, and I decided I want to do filmmaking at that time. So I quit my job and I came back to Myanmar in 2012. At that time, I met with a lot of people from Myanmar industry, especially the people from mainstream industry, because around that time, I don't know anybody from locally or internationally from the independent industry. So I was like trying to understand how film industry works, and then I slowly learned a little bit about themselves, and also I myself faced a lot of difficulty trying to learn filmmaking by myself, because I never properly learned filmmaking from a proper school or anything like that. And Myanmar was a very closed country until 2010. So the thing is that we don't have exposure to the war cinema. The only cinema we were exposed to were like the Hollywood cinema or Chinese action films and some Bollywood films like that. So I have very limited knowledge of the films, and so I have to like learn everything again after I came back to my country, and I slowly trying to develop a story about struggle, about myself, but in a fictional way. So I made this story, but it's still a very difficult story because it was very difficult to secure financing, and I'm not very good at finding the investors. So finally, I decided to make the film with my own little money. So if you can see the film inside the film, it looked a little bit like big budget film, but then again, a lot of scenes were shot with the real people in the real environment with the guerrilla filmmaking. So yeah, last year I finally finished it. And at that time, I was like, in the process, I was traumatized a lot, but now looking back at it again, I'm happy I made this film.
Yes, we are also very happy that you made this film, because it's definitely show us a different side of Burma that other side of the world may not been familiar with. So yeah, thank you for this very entertaining film, and thank you for putting your money in for this movie. I mean, without you, we wouldn't be able to watch it. So we can see that there is a lot of social issue mentioned in the film, such as the censorship issue, and then the poverty maybe, and then something related to the corruption as well. So can you tell us a little bit about the having these issues in this film, and how are you plotting them in a like a genre film? How was it structured? Yeah.
Yeah. the thing was, I don't know, being an artist, I myself is very critical, I think, from the start. So I was like always trying to like criticize things with how stupid a government can be and how they can be useless. And a lot of things, for example, last 10 years, Myanmar has improved a lot in a way, but then again, in a way, not. Because it's like how can I put this? It's like a Truman Show. So for example, literature doesn't have a censorship anymore. But then again, film censorship has tightened more and more, and because the censorship committee worried that if they allow film to without censor, like people will make porn films or something like that. It's very stupid. So I was when I make this film, I was trying to point out the inequality in Myanmar and also the about censorships and everything I want to criticize. I put it into the film. So yeah, if you see the film, you can see a lot of my pains.
Did you yourself face any censorship during the production process?
Actually, I'm cheated because to pass the censorship, we have to submit twice. Like in script stage, we have to submit once, and after film is finished, we have to submit the whole film. But in script stage, I submitted the very compact portion, like 3 pages treatment to the censorship, and I don't write the detailed plots and detailed dialogues. Anyway, they allow it, and because they don't know, and also the script won some awards, so they are like maybe a little bit impressed. Maybe then I was able to make anyway I like. But then last month, after I have released the film internationally, I submitted my film to censorship, but then again, censorship office was closed due to the COVID-19, and this year it is still closed due to the military coup and COVID-19 as well. So my film is in the middle of nowhere. Actually, I was trying to fight the censorship and the system. I was trying to test the water, but then again, it's going nowhere in the country.
Let's hope that we can fix it in the future and in the coming future. So let's see if we have any questions from the crowd. 觀眾會唔會有啲咩問題或者分享 or any sharing that 後邊。
可唔可以幫我翻譯啊？
可以啊，可以啊。
我想問下就係導演喺拍呢套戲嘅時候有啲咩困難嘅地方啊？最困難嘅地方係咩咁樣？因為我見到都好多係喺街啊，係大環境啊，但係佢又係呢個係一個 low budget 嘅戲啊，咁所以我想知道佢最困難嘅地方喺邊咯。
好啊，好啊，好。Well, the question is, what is the biggest difficulties? Or actually, you can tell us a few difficulties that you faced when making the film, because you mentioned that it's a relatively low budget for you, and then you had a lot of the scene shot in the main streets or in the public area. So, can you share your stories?
Yeah, it's a lot from the start. I don't know how to make films. That's the #1 difficulty. So I actually learned filmmaking from making this film. So before that, I don't have a lot of experience with making films. #2 is like the film title is money, because I don't have money. I have small savings from doing some commercial works. But then again, that's all I have, because after making that film, and I was broke, and I was like have to struggle again to finish the film for the post-production. And #3 is the crew and the actors and actresses, where all of them were like first time. They don't have any experience with the independent filmmaking, and actors were non-professional actors. Especially the protagonist and the wife of the protagonist and the brother-in-law of the protagonists, they are all non-professional actors, and they are like filmmakers, documentary filmmakers from Myanmar. So the thing is that we were like doing everything for the first time. We don't have a lot of experience with working with a lot of people, trying to control the set and trying to understand each other. We were like struggling and like sometimes fighting a lot, but then again, and also for the shooting on the streets and the outside, we have to schedule really careful. I was like not only I was wearing a lot of hats, not only wearing the director hats, I was also wearing the producer hat. I was also wearing the production designer hats. I'm involved in every part of the film. It stressed me a lot. For example, we have to like schedule. We have like this festival, pagoda festival, lighting festival outside. We know it will be around there, around that time. Actually, it's around this time of the year. So I have to schedule the shooting time that we will shoot this in this time, in this place, this location, because it's the festival time. We will go there. So we have to be like very punctual with that, and very careful. And for the shooting in street, it has become very difficult, and because all the cars and people were like going around, and they don't care about us, and we were like trying to achieve something, but it was difficult so we have to like think of some creative ways. For example, in one of the scene, I have to like tilt the camera up a bit in the street because I don't want to show all the people like looking at the camera in the streets and all the so it's something, it's a crazy experience. But the thing is that after making the films, I was like stressed and traumatized a lot, and I cannot look at the footage for like 3 months. But then I pick it again, because if I don't do it, who will do it?
and you will have your money wasted as well if you don't. So you were saying that the protagonists and the actors are all your friends and filmmakers, or direct documentary filmmakers.
Yes, they are.
So how these so they're like, also have they been involved with the stories or with the shooting as well? Did they help you out with any of the technical issues that you face on the scene?
Most of the story are done by me because it was very personal, but then my producer, who is now being detained, being arrested, she also involved a lot in the development of the script. But then again, when we were doing rehearsal for the actings, we meet a lot with the actors and actresses, and we were discussing how they can do it. Or some of the people, they like to go by the script. Some people they don't go by the script, so they improvise. So yeah, it's a little bit crazy, but
let's see if there is any other questions. 前邊呢度一陣間。
Hello, hello, Maung Sun. Thank you.
Hello.
First of all, thank you for the film. Although you said you were once traumatized by your film, but I like it. So thank you. I'm not familiar with the situation in Myanmar, but I can see that you have put a lot of symbols and issues in your film. I want to know more about the elements inside it. For example, I'm wondering, like, I can see that you put the cartoon movie 1984 in the movie, and also you try to, in your story, you put another story about something happened in the 1940s. I'm wondering, when I was watching the film, I was wondering whether there are any particular reasons that you put these particular things inside your movie. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. The thing is that I put the animal film and also the book of the 1984. Well, because I was unhappy with the current government, because the current government is actually, in my opinion, not the current government anymore, because it was taken over by the military. Actually, I always think that military is always behind everything. Is a dictatorship. Is, how can I say it, is the capitalist dictatorship. So I'm always see that I don't see the things it's a democratic country. It's because it's not. So I'm trying to, but my film is not about criticizing the political system openly. It is more about the film industry. So even though I have a lot of voices I want to talk about, so I just put a little bit, because censorship is the result of this government system. Is part of that. So there's the animal farms and 1984 references, and also the about the movie about the movie from 1940s. It was actually very successful at that time, just before the Second World War, and it has the very how can I say it? It was iconic anyway, because it's not about a good guy, it's about a bad guy who kidnapped a girl. So I think it's also symbolized about the situation of the country in a way. And so, and also my film is about 100, it's accommodate, it's 100 years of Myanmar film industry. So I want to put something iconic from the past. So I chose the film, and actually choosing the film was actually very difficult, because I have to track down who owned the copyright, and like the guy I have to like track down for 3 months, and well, I was able to do it. So yeah, that's the reason.
We have another questions here.
Yes.
Hello, Mr. Director. I was wondering, I was wondering, because you say it's your first time about film in filmmaking, it's the first time directing a film. So I was wondering, how do you have the confidence to do any of this? Do you ever doubt yourself, or if you doubt yourself, how to conquer it?
Okay. Yeah. The thing is that I am not afraid to restart my life if something goes wrong. For example, in 2000, I was at that time, I just finished my high school education, and my father passed away, and he was a doctor, and he is the he find money for the family. But then again, when he passed away, I suddenly go into this kind of poverty when I started university. So at that time, it was first restart of my life, and I have to like restart everything again. And the second time is in 2007, I won the Manglet protests were failed, and I don't want to stay in that country anymore. So I sold all my computer, everything I have, and then I left the country to Singapore to find work with, at that time I have, after buying the plane ticket, I have like 500 Singapore dollars or like that, very little money. But then, so I restart again, and after 4 or 5 years in 2012, I was not happy in Singapore anymore. So at that time, I was earning a lot from my salary, but then again, I was not happy with that job. So I wanted to become a filmmaker, which I don't know anything about. But then again, because I wanted to do it, I just quit the job and buying the ticket and come back to my country. So I restarted again. And now in 2021, I have lost everything because my producer was arrested and my office was being raided and my computer were like confiscated. And but luckily I can, I'm stay safe relatively, and I can stay develop my story. But then again, I'm now in France and I'm trying to do my second project, and which also a restart here. I was lucky because I was picked up by the Cannes Film Festival Cine Foundation residency. So I have a place to stay for a few months and I have time to develop my story. So the thing is that I'm not afraid to restart.
Thank you. It's such an inspiring story. So we hope that you have a great success. And then we have another last questions here.
Hello, thank you very much for the movie. It was awesome. I really liked it. What I wanted to ask you is, so you worked in Singapore for 4 years at a very interesting job, and after that you went into film industry. So where did you find the motivation to leave the previous industry? Because a lot of people, I think, they are struggling. Like, I think a lot of people do what they don't want to do, and they have a very hard time finding motivation to move into the thing they like. So I wanted to ask you, where did you find the motivation?
Okay, here it is. If you like a film, you can like watch it many times. But if you think of life as a film, it only happened once, and you don't know when it will end. So when you are in that film as a protagonist, you want the best out of it. Yeah, that's my answer.
Oh, we are truly touched by your stories and hope that we can give you more energy to move on. And then we hope you all the best in the future. And then let's hope that we have more audience here, and then to recommend people to watch your film so that more people will know about your stories and then give you support. And I hope to see you in the future, maybe your second feature. And then, yeah, all the best. And thank you once again for this movie and your time.
Thank you too.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.